get to the keys to victory from the coach, but of course, in the second game, we don't have the keys to victory. There's no coach to join us on the Davis Ford pregame show, so you're our coach.
Okay.
You are now Coach Kirk. Through your eyes, what are the keys to victory here in Game 2, brought to you by world-famous Pisons? Give Stan the Pizza Man a call tonight at 862-4000.
Well, Will, you of all people know my personality, so the first thing I would say the key to this game is to score more runs. But, no, we've got to have another solid outing from Hannah Johnson. She played great in Game 1 for us, come out and really set the tone early. And then the bat sort of picked up behind her on that. So we're going to have that here in Game 2. We're going to have Hannah come out, she don't have to shut everybody down, but just give us a solid outing in the circle. And we've just got to give our pitchers some run support here in Game 2. And the bats have got to be there. And if anybody recognizes that voice from years past, that's Kyle Lukens leading the cheers to get the Lady Indians fired up.
I thought you would recognize that one. I turn up our crowd sound, and you are all over it. And the First American National Bank first pitch is outside to Mallory Turner. Get yourself a nice ice cold Coca-Cola. It's game time for Lady Indian softball here on FM 95 Sports, on FM95radio.com, as well as the video streaming at LetsGoICC.com. And quickly, it is 2-0 the count to Turner. Mallory had a terrific game. One of the reasons why East Central is still alive in the postseason. Went 3 for 5 in Game 1 with a run scored and an RBI. And that's high. 3-0 the count.
Yeah, Hannah just needs to pace herself. She's probably amped up a little bit right now, wanting to try to get a good start. And those first 3 pitches, she kind of rushed through them, and that pitch just low. So it's gonna be a struggle. You got a third time, our third game. We're seeing our third different umpire. So you're gonna have to kind of just figure out what he wants to give you as balls and strikes.
So a leadoff walk to Mallory Turner. She's now reached base 4 times. Well, actually 5 times if you count a fielder's choice here today. And so here showing bunt is Porter, pulls the trigger back, and a strike is called. I'll set that defensive alignment. Brought to you by Coke in just a bit for ICC here in Game 3 of this best of 3. We're just underway, top of the first, and now Hannah Johnson is calling for time.
Yeah, it looked like we got the wrong card over at first base, so got to get everybody on the same defensive page here.
We talked about your keys to victory just moments ago, brought to you by Pisons. Don't forget to like Pisons for exclusive deals on Facebook. Also follow Pisons on Twitter. We appreciate Stan Miller. Was listening to our broadcast last night. He was the caterer for our post-game victory meal for the Lady Indians. And that pitch is high.
Yeah, I think that was a pitch out that time, Will, just to see if they might have been trying to catch the runner going on that pitch, as East Central has showed bunt on both attempts.
Porter was 0 for 3 in Game 2, and there's a bunt. Henderson goes to second, and keeping her somehow.
No,
keeping her foot on the bag was Haley Moore, and they called her out.
Runner ran off. Well, let's see if they're going to talk things over here, because if that play stands, we getting a gift.
And now they're going to ask the plate umpire what he saw, as opposed to the umpire that was right over there by second, whether or not Haley Moore had her foot on the bag here in the top of the first in a scoreless Game 3. And they're going to call her out.
We'll take it. We will take it.
Yes. So Morgan Porter reaches on the fielder's choice, and Turner is forced at second. So Henderson,
number 23.
Tell you what, that was a gutsy play even to try to throw to second. So no sacrifice. Porter was trying to sacrifice. Sorry, Brother Chris. We almost had a Baptist Student Union sacrifice, but we'll take it. Yes. As the lead runner is out, and here is Ty Buckley. Was walked her first 3 times in Game 2 of this series. There's a strike called. Scored one of those 3 times, then flew out to right in the 6th, and then bounced into a fielder's choice to end the top of the 7th. So she was 0 for 2 in the Game 2 this afternoon. And last night went 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a run scored. 1-0 the count to Buckley with 1 out. here in the top of the first. No score between Itawamba and East Central. There's a foul straight back. 1-2 the count with 1 out here in the top of the first. ICC's 18-game winning streak was snapped by East Central to force us to a game 3 of this best of 3 first-round series, the only best of 3 that will go 3 in the first round of these playoffs. There's a slow roller to third. Watterson charges, fires, and gets Buckley by a half a step.
Yeah, good job that time by Watterson. Came up, charged, and really left no doubt with that blistering throw across the plate. And as you said, Will, right now the ICC team is the only hope for the North, as the other 3 South teams swept 2-0.
That was Pearl River, Gulf Coast, and Jones earlier today. So now with 2 outs, a runner at second in Porter, and here's the cleanup hitter, Stevens.
Takes that first pitch for a strike.
Haley Stevens had the big 2-run, 2-strike with 2 out double in the top of the 6th. It was a 3-2 count, so both the runners at first and second were going with the pitch, and that allowed the runner Porter to score all the way from first, and that was the difference. East Central winning that one 5-3. We're in the top of the first, no score, in the third and final game of this series. There's a strike called. That defensive alignment for ICC in the outfield from left to right. Elder, Schenkel, and Hopper around the infield from third to first. Watterson, Moore, Carver, and Henderson. Behind the plate is Bonner. And in the circle is Hannah Johnson. That's the defensive alignment brought to you by Coke. And that pitch just misses.
Yeah, and Bonner's going to turn around and ask where it was, and the umpire's going to say, as even the batter was walking back to the dugout after that one.
So the count is even at 2-2 to Stevens. She was 1 for 4 with that 2-run double, game-winning hit in game 1 earlier today. Game 2 of the series is a pop-up to the shortstop, Haley Moore, and that takes care of East Central in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 was left. Throw a donut on the scoreboard for East Central in the top of the first, brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop here in Fulton. We go to the bottom of the first. It's ICC's turn to come to the plate with no score.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's a winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton. We go to the bottom of the first, no score in game 3 of this series between ICC and East Central. Tina Harlow, our studio engineer at FM 95 Studios in Amory. Over in Senatobia this afternoon, the ICC baseball team wrapping up their regular season. We got another Trustmark Bank scoreboard update. Last score I saw, was it 8-3?
8-4.
8-4 now. ICC has just scored a run. So it's 8-4. The Indians trail Northwest. And after this one, they've just got game 2 of the doubleheader, and no playoffs this year for the first time in 13 years for the ICC baseball program. Here's Haley Moore leading off the bottom of the first for ICC, and the first pitch from Wilson is high, 1-0. Kendra Wilson must have rubber in her arms. She, the sophomore from South Lamar High School from Millport, Alabama, just across the line around the, if you're in Columbus, you go across into the Alabama, across that state line, you're right there near Millport. And she has thrown her share of games and her share of innings this year for East Central. Pitch is low and outside. Starting all 3 games in the circle in this best of 3.
Yeah, and you said, she's got, 150 complete games, 16 wins on the season. So, I mean, she's thrown a lot of innings.
Yeah, she starts this one with 165 innings on the year. That's in the top 5 in the nation. That pitch low. 3-1 the count to Haley Moore. Now they're going to ask for if Haley did commit, and the appeal. Nope, the first base umpire says she did not commit. Haley earlier today went 0 for 3 with a walk. She did walk in the 7th. There's a slow roller, but it hit her. So it's a foul ball. Count is full at 3-2.
Yeah, so, we really need to get a start here. We need to get Haley on. That hurts. We talked about when we can't get her on very often and don't get a chance to score with some speed on the bases, it tends to hurt our offensive prowess.
There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout. We didn't have many strikeouts. In fact, one for each team earlier today. Brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton, but Moore goes down swinging for the first out here in the bottom of the first. Don't forget about Pit Stop Barbecue here in Fulton, right across from where we hang out during the week, Adam. The Student Services Building, the David C. Cole Student Services Building on the Fulton campus. First pitch is high to Carver. They're open 5 to 10 Monday through Friday for breakfast, then 10 to 3 for lunch Monday through Wednesday, and they're open until 7 on Thursday and Friday nights. And, of course, open every Saturday morning until 1. That's Pit Stop Barbecue here in Fulton. Pitch is in the dirt. 1-1 the count. Carver went 3 for 4 in the game earlier this afternoon, was our Sonic star of the game, brought to you by the Sonic Drive-In in Fulton. She scored 2 of our 3 runs, and there's a strike called. So Carver's got to guard the dish with 2 strikes with Watterson on deck. That one's low and inside. Carver, 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored earlier today. Last night went 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. So she is 4 for 6, by far the most productive ICC Lady Indian at the plate. And there's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, she took a healthy chop at that one too.
Now it's full, 3-2. Scoreboard had it off a pitch, so 3-2 the count to Carver. With 1 out here in the bottom of the first. This one's fouled straight back over our heads here in the ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth. Don't forget to call Mark Todd on Monday morning to reconnect. Join the ICC Alumni Association. ICC once again this year named one of the nation's premier community colleges. And there is ball 4. Nice at bat there by Kat Carver.
And that's what we need. We just need, solid at bats, people on bases. Good at bat there, like you said, by the softboard. Battled, and found her way to get on the bag.
So here's Watterson. Earlier today in game 1 with Carver at first. Watterson in the bottom of the first hit a 2-run homer deep to left field to give ICC at that time the 2-0 lead. This pitch is high and outside, 1-0 the count. We talked about Itawamba Community College, named one of the nation's top community colleges by the Aspen Institute Excellence Program. Also named one of America's top community colleges by Washington Monthly, ranking 34th out of 700 eligible institutions. That's an ICC Spotlight brought to you by First National Bank in Pontotoc. Watterson at the plate, 2-0 the count. Corey hits from the right side. She went 0 for 2 with a walk last night. Pitch is low. Carver is going, and she slides in safely. And a stolen base for Kat Carver.
Yeah, good job by Kat that time. Got a good jump. And if you notice the way she slid and slid with her back more low to the ground to make her a difficult target to tag that time after it was a pretty good throw.
That for Carver, her 12th steal in 13 attempts. And now, with 3-0 count to Watterson, they're just going to go and throw one outside for ball 4. So runners at first and second.
Number 6, Kara Hopper.
And here's Kara Hopper with her .387 batting average, 4 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Hopper's the first pitch is a strike called. Kara took the loss in game 1.
Yeah, and you gotta take those intentional walks as an insult. I mean, it's got to fire you up. You want to take it, okay, you want to dance with me, I'm going to take it, make you pay.
Hopper earlier today went 2 for 3, a double and a single. And there's a line to short. The throw to first is not in time. The throw drew Buckley off the bag. So Hopper lines it sharply, but the shortstop Beard makes the play for the second out.
Yeah, and that's one of those where if you're hot, that one gets over the head, 2-run score. But that situation for Kara, she's had some tough breaks today at the plate, and that's another one of them right there.
So here's Emily Henderson, 0 for 3 this afternoon. And last night went 1 for 3. First pitch is a strike called. 0-1 the count to Henderson, hitting .292 starting the weekend with 4 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Pitches inside, run in. Had a little tail on that one. 1-1 the count to Henderson with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. We're scoreless, but the Lady Indians have 2 runners on base. That pitch is inside. Nope, they're going to call it a strike. Wow, look at like it went right over the chalk on the left side of the batter's box. But evidently catching the corner. We're about 50 feet, 60 feet away. There's a liner to left field, and it's going to be off the wall. Extra bases. 1 run will score. They're going to try to score the runner from first, and she scores as Watterson beats the throw, and a 2-run double by Henderson. She takes third on the throw home.
I'll tell you what, Emily was pumped when she got to third base. She started throwing her hands up, telling the crowd to get up, and I tell you what, the sophomore, we talked about her struggling. She came up in a big way that time.
Yeah, that's RBI number 28 and 29 on the year, and more importantly, Itawamba takes the early 2-0 lead. And so Henderson is at third. Boy, I'd like to see Ashley Langford do something here, and let's add another run. Let's take total control of this game after East Central has taken the momentum away in this series by winning earlier today 5-3. That first pitch is a strike called on the inside corner. Langford this afternoon went 0 for 3. A ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout. In fact, that was the only strikeout Wilson had in the entire game.
Yeah, I think East Central knows that Langford can't hang off those high heat, and that's what she's got on these past 2 pitches.
0-2 the count with 2 outs. And another one of those, and this time Ashley does show some patience, and it's now 1-2 the count. Langford last night went 1 for 3, but it was a big-time home run to left in the bottom of the 6th to help ICC in that 4-2 win. This one's fouled straight back. Stays alive at 1-2.
Yeah, good battle right here by Langford. You got to keep fighting and hopefully find a way to win this battle.
Langford now with 9 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Both those totals second to Watterson, who has 12 home runs and 54 RBIs. And there is strike 3 called.
He is giving a lot to that inside plate.
Wow, and that takes care of Langford. A strikeout brought to you by the pit stop. But the Lady Indians get 2 runs. The big hit, a 2-run double by Henderson, and we go to the second inning. ICC leads East Central in Game 3 of this best of 3, 2-0.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, the Baptist Student Union, Family Pharmacy of Fulton, Subway, JUCOweekly.org, and First National Bank in Pontotoc.
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton. We head to the top of the second. ICC with the early lead, 2-0 over East Central in Game 3 of this best-of-3 opening round playoff series. First pitch here in the top of the second from Hannah Johnson to Lindsey Beard is low, 1-0 the count. It'll be Beard, then Holzenbach, and now the number 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Fastball is high, 2-0 the count. Hannah Johnson, who had the complete game victory last night. In fact, was our Sonic star of the game, brought to you by the Sonic Drive-In here in Fulton. There's a strike call. A little extra giddy up on that one. 2-1 the count to the right-handed hitting shortstop, Lindsey Beard. 1 for 3 with a run scored earlier. And there's a ground ball to the right side. Carver throws it.
Making it a little interesting.
Henderson had to go to her left a bit with the stretch, but she makes the play for the first out.
Warriors, number 22, Caroline Holzenbach.
So with 1 out here in the top of the second, here's Holzenbach, the catcher. She's been a thorn in our side all weekend long. Went 2 for 3 with a ribby last night. 1 for 3 with a run batted in earlier today. Also had a walk. Pitch is low, 1-0 the count.
She looks a little tired.
You might have noticed all this month, our David C. Cole Student Services building on our Fulton campus has been blue at night. That pitch is a strike called in commemoration of April as World Autism Month. It will continue to be blue to emphasize the platform of Miss ICC, Jonna Wilson. There's a line drive, a stab by Haley Moore at short for the second out, and that retires Holzenbach.
Yeah, and can you say that a good scouting report, I guess you could say, as
Number 21.
Haley was scooted over to her left, and basically it was a straight line drive right to her.
So with 2 outs, here's now, I should say, as Beard started the inning off with a ground ball to Carver at second. And now Holzenbach lines sharply to Moore at short. And here's now, and a swing and a miss, 0-1 the count. So Jonna Wilson of Fulton, Miss ICC 2014, her platform is entitled Ask Me, ASKME, which stands for Autism Spectrum Knowledge Means Everything. That's an ICC spotlight brought to you by the Family Pharmacy of Fulton. It's kind of cool. Leaving, of course, you live here in Fulton. I live in Tupelo, but I've seen it when we have these games at night. Drive by the Student Services building and nice blue hue. And there's a ground ball to the left side, and Watterson takes care of now, and that takes care of East Central on the top of the top of the second. 3 up, 3 down. Throw another donut on the scoreboard, brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop here in Fulton. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 2-0 in favor of ICC.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
Bottom of the second. ICC leads it 2-0 over East Central. It'll be the number 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Elder, Bonner, and Schenkel, facing Wilson. The first pitch is high upstairs to Elder. Rachel is your Rick's Pick to Click here in Game 3 of this best of 3, Adam.
Absolutely. I only know 2 people from Guntown, and she's the best one because the other one was Brandon Speck.
That's what you call one of those no-doubters. This one's fouled out of play. Will Brandon be in Memphis tonight for the Grizzlies and Thunder?
I believe so.
Grizzlies surprisingly lead that series 2-1.
Yeah, if they win, I may be hitting the road this weekend, heading out to OKC myself.
Did that last year. That pitch is low to Elder.
Do they call that place Loud City? Man, that is absolutely one of the most amazing and just ear-aching atmospheres I've ever been in.
The arena there at OKC?
Yes.
There's a pop-up into short center field. Coming on is the center fielder, and that is Porter for the first out. So Elder flies to center.
Indians, number 18, Autumn Bonner.
So here's Bonner, the catcher. Autumn earlier today, 0 for 3. Last night in game 1 of this best of 3, the right-handed hitting catcher went 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Pitch is low, 1-0 the count. Don't forget to stay connected with ICC Athletics by following us on Mississippi's Community College's best athletic Twitter account at LetsGoICC. And Adam, to my right, has been on fire again today. And there's a fly ball to deep left field, but it's hooking foul into the corner. You have been a tweeting machine once again today, keeping us all up to date on what's happening down at the state tennis tournament down at Gulf Coast. Our ICC Lady Indians trying to win their 4th straight state title. Our men trying to win 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, and I've sent out a couple of texts to Coach Johnson and Miss Brenda to see how we ended up. I hadn't heard back yet, so I'm hoping we capture our 2nd state title of the year this year with the men sitting pretty good after sweeping through the singles play, winning 1 through 6 championships in this one today.
Yeah, you got to figure with those points right there, they would be tough to beat ICC. And as you mentioned, be the 2nd state championship of the year. Grant Pate, assistant coach Adam Kirk, and the Indians last month.
So we've had 2 state titles, 3 North State titles. The girls chasing a state title in softball, and hopefully we can, I say, on the way for 2 state titles.
Yes, that would be the men's tennis team. Yeah, that extends our streak to 10 years in a row with at least 1 state championship. There's strike 3 called on Bonner.
And this home plate umpire, man, he likes that inside corner to the point of if it even crosses or touches the dust or the chalk out there, he's going to call that strike 3. So, I mean, we're going to have to adjust to that because, as I said, he's been consistent on that call, and East Central has attacked it.
So with 2 outs, the strikeout on Bonner brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue here in Fulton. And here's Lakin Schenkel. This one is fouled. Lakin getting the start in center field, hitting 9th after Heather Dillard started the first 2 games of the series.
You're just trying to shake it up because Lakin's one of those, she's played well for us this year when she's got the opportunities. And so Andy's going to try to see if he can't find just a little bit more productivity out of the number 9 spot.
2-0 ICC, bottom of the 2nd. 3rd and final game of this series. That one's high and inside. 1-1 the count. We talked about winning at least 1 state title in 10 straight years. That's the longest current streak among the 15 community colleges in Mississippi. That ball in the dirt. 2-1 the count. Another ICC spotlight brought to you by our friends from McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And I would love to keep tacking on some more runs for the red and blue of ICC. And there's a base hit up the middle. So Lakin says, well, I got to do that first. We can't get a run before we get somebody on base. And so a base hit by Schenkel with 2 outs keeps the inning alive. And then we go back to the top of the order and Moore.
Haley Moore.
I have created my own method of
I know, you
scoring.
got it. Trying to help out Adam. Adam is shooting highlights as well as color commentating and tweeting.
Running the Let's Go broadcast.
So I was trying to help him with his scorebook, but I was taught a different way from my dad than what you were taught.
I was self-taught on this, and if anybody ever looks at my score sheets, if you can figure it out, you're a smart person because sometimes I don't even know what I wrote down.
Haley Moore at the plate. 0 for 1 in this one. This one's fouled out of play. And now Haley's got to guard the plate.
Actually, my score sheet is built for a quick box score. box to hit, circle for doubles or anybody's names that's supposed to go in the box score. You got your runs.
There's a method behind the madness. I'm with you all the way.
There's some. I don't know about method, but there's something behind that madness.
2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Itawamba with the early 2-0 lead. There goes the runner Schenkel to throw down to second. Not in time, and Lincoln Schenkel has herself a stolen base for the Lady Indians. And that for Schenkel, her 8th stolen base this year in 10 attempts. And that base hit will also help out her .386 batting average. So now we got a runner in scoring position, but Moore pops it up on the left side of the infield. Beard calls for it and makes the catch at short, and that takes care of ICC in the second. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 was left. We go to the third, and ICC leads East Central 2-0.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties. Trustmark Bank, Larry Clark Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop, the National Guard, the Daily Journal, and Pisons Pizza.
Welcome back to Fulton as we continue this best of 3, game 3 of the best of 3 between ICC and East Central. In the third for East Central, facing Hannah Johnson, it'll be the number 8, 9, and 1 hitters. That's McBroom, Hopkins, and Turner. 2-0, Itawamba with the lead.
Number 3, Amber McBroom.
So McBroom at the plate. Went 1 for 4 earlier today. And she's grounds one to third. Watterson from the bag at third across the infield, chest high to Henderson for the first out.
Well, we need to do a video where we just hit ground balls to Corey and let her throw it to first to Chew and put the GoPro on you just to see your reaction. See if you can catch a throw from Watterson.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's the reason why I said you and not me, though.
Yeah. Here with 1 out in the top of the third, nobody on, is the number 9 here, Hopkins. A ball called. Hopkins hits from the left side. Lots of speed. She's one of those slap hitters. They're in on the corners for ICC and even in up the middle of the infield. Johnson delivers high.
Fans not a big fan of that call. Thought it was a strike.
There's a slow roller third. Nice job by Watterson just to let that thing go foul and then pick it up immediately because she would have had no chance to get the speedy Hopkins.
Absolutely. And once again, we talk about the strength, but also the mental sharpness of our third baseman there, because most of them would have charged up, tried to make the play and rush the throw, resulting in 9 times out of 10 an error and letting the runner get in the scoring position. So a good job of playing that one smart and just letting it roll foul and grabbing it as soon as it crossed the line.
So here's the pitch, low and outside. 3-1 the count. Nope, 3-2 the count, I should say. 3-2 the count with 1 out here in the top of the third. There's another slow roller down the third base line foul, and we'll do it again. Don't forget you can listen to ICC Athletic Updates each weekday morning here on FM 95 Sports. I'll host these 90-second segments every weekday morning at 6 and 7 a.m. And hopefully Monday morning we'll be talking about ICC, the Lady Indians, winning this best of 3 and getting ready to host the MAC-JC State Tournament next weekend here in Fulton. There's a ground ball to the left side. Moore charges, fires over to first to get Hopkins by a step. Nice job by Haley Moore. She has not necessarily had a Haley Moore kind of weekend at the plate, but she's been steady Eddie in the field, Adam.
Absolutely, and I tell you, she knows how quickly a runner can get there because she's fast herself. Had a good job of coming up, and, man, she left no doubt behind that throw to first.
So with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the third, we go to the top of the order, and Mallory Turner. She walked to lead off the game, the only base runner of the game so far for East Central. Strike called. As after that opening walk here in Game 3 to Turner, Hannah Johnson has retired the last 8. That pitch a little low. 1-0 the count with 2 outs. 2-0 Itawamba, top of the third. Game 3 of the best of 3. Pitch is way outside.
Well, this we talked about it, and Brother Chris, to my right, is saying as well. She looks a little tired. Both these pitchers have thrown a lot of pitches the past 2 days, and I think that was part of the gamesmanship that Coach Kirk was thinking about in this game, possibly maybe saving some arms and just out endurance in them here in Game 3.
I like that. It's a foul ball there, 1-2. In case you're just joining us, Johnson went the complete distance last night, had the complete game victory. Then earlier today, starter Montana Hawkins went 3 2/3. Then Kara Hopper went 2 1/3. There's a grounder to third. Watterson takes care of business. And then Kessler threw the final inning in the 7th. 3 up and 3 down for East Central. Throw another donut on the scoreboard. Brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop. I could use some chocolate donuts right now from Alex Williamson and his folks. We go to the bottom of the third. ICC leads East Central 2-0.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's the winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
Welcome back here to Fulton. We go to the bottom of the third. ICC leads it 2-0 over East Central in Game 3 of this best of 3. That pitch is a strike call to the right-handed hitting Ket Carver. It'll be Carver, Watterson, and Hopper, the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters here in the bottom of the third.
Well, the Trustmark Bank scoreboard update, Northwest leading ICC in baseball 12-5.
Season-ending doubleheader today for the Indians over in Senatobia. Had originally scheduled to broadcast that doubleheader, but with ICC Lady Indians playing here in the playoffs.
And Will, I haven't heard anything from Coach Johnson or Miss Brenda, but checking Twitter, seeing a bunch of the tennis team members saying state champs. So apparently ICC has won the men's state championship in tennis.
That sounds great. Boy, you would think that would be top priority. If I just won state title, I'd want to get that back up to this way for the media folks to get that information. But maybe Paul and his wife Brenda are celebrating down there on the coast. Carver at the plate, leading off the bottom of the third. It's 2-0 ICC after Lady Indians scored 2 in the first. There's a smash.
That was a smash line drive foul ball that probably got up in traffic.
Very good crowd here again on a Saturday afternoon. Games 2 and 3 after game 1 last night. Fastball high, a riser. Andy Lee was here earlier. We'll have the highlights tonight on WTVA at 6 and 10. We'll also have highlights on WCBI at 6 and 10. David Wheeler, the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal, is here. We'll see his story tomorrow morning in the Daily Journal. David with a nice preview yesterday morning of this best-of-3 series between nationally ranked ICC and East Central. Another foul ball by Carver.
Not really for sure, unless she may have fouled that one off herself, but the umpire stepped in front of the plate and was having a few words.
Here's the 3-2, ball 4, down low and inside. So a leadoff walk to Kat Carver, and she just continues to get on base.
I'm saying that worked well for us last time when Kat took that walk and eventually was able to come around to score along with Corey Watterson, who's at the plate now on that 2-out double off the fence by Emily Henderson in the first.
Yes, Carver has been a part of all 5 of the runs that ICC has scored here this afternoon, whether igniting the rally or scoring. And there's the pitch is low to Watterson. Watterson walked her first time up, had a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first earlier today in Game 2 of this series. She went 1 for 3 with a walk with those 2 runs batted in. Carver was on base. That pitch is high. 2-0 the count.
Looks like we do have somebody warming up for East Central to our left. It's like number 14.
All right.
And
that would be Kelly out of Netherlands, Texas.
And then Montana Hawkins to our right appears to be warming up for the Lady Indians.
Yep, little soft toss right now for Hawkins. Getting ready and loosen. Watterson has yet to see a strike here. 2-0 the count. Line in the left, a base hit by Watterson. Hit so hard that Carver could only go from first to second. Watterson a lace to left for ICC. So runners at first and second now, nobody out.
I tell you, when she hits the ball, she leaves no doubt. She blistered that one that time. And as you said, once again, that one hit just a little too hard, and Carver couldn't advance to third. But Lady Indians in business, runners on first and second with no outs here in the third. And hopefully, as you said, we can keep building on this. You've got a 2-0 lead right now. Game 3 in the balance. If you can just tack on a couple of more runs, you may be able to see just sort of that 2 heavyweight champions maybe land that knockout punch for the Lady Indians.
East Central's coach Cheney came out to talk to her pitcher along with the infield. And Cheney and the Lady Warriors sticking with Kendra Wilson, the sophomore from South Lamar High School in Millport, Alabama.
We'll look for some small ball in this situation. No outs, runners on first and second. Just try to advance them a little bit closer.
Hopper at the plate. Showing bunt and a beauty, but I think it hit her. So it's going to be a foul ball. Yes, Hopper was the bunt, but it hit Hopper. So she'll come back and have an 0-1 count. Don't forget, the college continues to operate a free shuttle service for our students between the Fulton and Tupelo campuses. We get about 25 to 30 passengers daily. Hopper showing bunt, now pulls the trigger back and slaps one foul. Just about got third base coach Andy Kirk. And if you're the third baseman, Stevens, your tongue might have just been swallowed right there because she was charging at third.
Yeah. And that's a scary thing. I mean, you have to cover the bunt, you have to respect the bunt, and they pull back and slap it like that. Whew. And it comes at the third base side 9 times out of 10.
So 0-2 the count to Hopper. And a ground ball sharply hit to short. The force at third for the first out as Carver is out. So a fielder's choice by Hopper, and so not able to sacrifice her.
Yeah, and that hurt. When we didn't get that bunt down to start with, and then we tried to slap it to get them by surprise, didn't execute that. You really couldn't try to get that bunt again there. So, she come up swinging. Unfortunately for the Lady Indians, just couldn't come away with the hit.
Here's Emily Henderson, who's had the biggest hit so far in Game 3 of this series. The 2-run double to score the only runs of the game. That was in the bottom of the first. That was by far, at least so far, our play of the game, brought to you by the National Guard.
If you sneak down a bunt right now, you might get a base hit.
Henderson at the plate, hits from the right side, and this one's fouled out of play, first base side.
That erase that, but Henderson had a good sacrifice bunt against Holmes that really sort of helped open the door for the Lady Indians to pick up that win. And look at third base, she's having to cover the bag, and she was back, respected the power of Henderson. Thought maybe a drop down bunt might have been able to get something going.
Here's the 0-2 to Henderson, a bouncer in the hole, a base hit. Andy Kirk is going to ask the runner to score from second to throw to the plate, not in time. Throw to third, not in time, and Henderson takes second. And Emily Henderson has driven in her third run of the afternoon.
Big game for Emily. That was the big one right there. We talked about it. She's been due. We was hoping it would have been the last game, but hey, she's got it going right now in this game.
Yeah, Henderson now with a 2-run double in the first, and that's an RBI single there. Took second on the throw. So Watterson did score. Hopper goes to third, and so we've got runners at second and third. It's just one out, and here's Ashley Langford. Langford fouls this one straight back, and it's 3-0 ICC.
Yeah, this is somebody else that's due right here. Is Ashley struck out looking her last time on a tough call, so hopefully be able to sort of keep this thing going here. Only one out. Lady Indians trying to get a rally.
1 for 7 on the weekend, but it was a big hit for Langford, a home run last night. There's a swing and a miss. And now she's got to guard the dish at 0-2.
Well, she leaves no doubt when she swings the bat, does she?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Just somehow you got the infield drawn in. If you could just put it somewhere, just put it in play on the ground, we got a great shot at making it 4-0. Runners at second and third, and now asking for time is Langford, and she receives it. Talking about that ICC shuttle service, it was instrumental in the colleges earning the Transportation Star from the Institute of Sustainability. ICC is the only college to achieve 6-star status. And there is the ball gets away, and 1 run will score. And how about that? So a strikeout.
And an error.
Pass ball on the catcher. And that allows the runner, the batter, reach first, and then she just kept on running. She goes to second. So no RBI, but we don't care. It's 4-0 ICC. Henderson is at third, and Langford is at second.
Let's see if here wins.
And first pitch swinging, a fly ball to right field. This should be deep enough. Here comes the tag by Henderson, the throw, and slided in safely is Henderson. And a sacrifice fly by Elder makes it 5-0.
Big inning here, Will. Good job that time by Elder. Just put the bat on the ball, got it deep enough to score the run. So a sacrifice fly for the sophomore.
That was your Rick's Pick the Click. Absolutely. That sacrifice fly by Elder brought to you by the Baptist Student Union. Chris Burrows is to your right. Adam, he has been in charge of the Baptist Student Union since 1996.
To say, he was in charge whenever I was here. And I was a BSU kid.
How about that? There's the first pitch swinging, slow roll at a short, charging his beard, and fires over to first to get Bonner. But the Lady Indians will get 3 more runs in the inning. We go to the 4th. ICC leads 5-0 in Game 3 of this best-of-3 over East Central.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, Davis Ford, Coke, First American National Bank, Itawamba Community College, and Auto, Air, and Electric.
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton. We head to the top of the fourth. ICC with 2 runs in the first, 3 more runs in the bottom of the third. Lead it 5-0 in game 3 of this best of 3. Tina Harlow, our studio engineer down at FM 95 Studios in Amory.
Well, I'll tell you what, we had a ruckus crowd in between innings there. Started the Who Are We ICC chant, and that may be something we may have to start marketing a little bit more. I like that.
I do. I like it a lot. One side of the stands was yelling it, and then the other stands returning the serve. Of course, this is a tremendous facility. How about the chairback seats? There's not many community college softball stadiums, fields, ballparks, whatever you want to call it, around the country that have with these kind of seating.
Right. And the fans, I mean, it's a great atmosphere because it's an intimate atmosphere. You know, you're on top of the field, you're on top of the umpires. It's just a great place to come watch softball.
Yeah, it's a chairback seating. You can't beat that in any venue, especially on the community college softball level. Hannah Johnson now has been staked to a 5-0 lead. First pitch here in the fourth is a strike call. That'll be the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Morgan Porter, Ty Buckley, and Haley Stevens, facing the right-hander, Hannah Johnson.
And the thing we got to remember, though, this is a very good East Central team that can really just catch fire at any time, much like we can. So the defense needs to stay solid behind their pitcher right now. As we said, she has thrown a lot of pitches in the past 2 days. And so we just got, throw it up there, trust in your defense.
There's a swing and a miss. Took a little something off of that one. Yeah, East Central's got a 342 team batting average, and they have scored 326 runs starting the weekend.
Yeah, you see Hannah shaking that arm, so she's obviously feeling it.
There's a ground ball, base hit to center field. First hit she's given up.
So, this may be the end of the road right here for Johnson, but, man, you cannot – you have to tip your cap to her, as she has done an outstanding job. That was her first hit she gave up here in the 4th inning after picking up the game 1 win. So she's a gamer, she's a battler, and they're going to stick with her right here. But she's the one we want to lean on right here to take us to victory.
Well, Mallory Turner led off the game with a walk, and then Johnson retired the next 9, and now here to lead off the 4th, a base hit by Porter. There's a strike call to Buckley.
Yeah, I think Buckley, she's seen so many intentional walks lately, is not used to seeing any actual live pitching.
There's a liner hooking foul down the left field line. To respect her power, look where the third base coach is. She's so far down the line. She's nowhere near third base. But she is one smart lady. She doesn't want any part of a line drive. It gives her maybe another split second to react. Out of Buckley. There's a bouncer to the right side. Carver thought about second, but then took the for sure out at first. Smart play there by Kat Carver. You're up 5-0. Let's just get some outs.
Will, Trustmark Bank scoreboard update is final in Senatobia. The Rangers win it 15-5 in 8 innings.
So the Indians now down to their last game of the year in baseball. As losing game 1, of course, ICC with nothing to play for over there. Northwest with a lot to play for. They're trying to still get that number 2 seed. They're battling Northeast for that number 2 spot in the North.
And they've got to have a sweep by East Mississippi for them to get that. And last I looked, East Mississippi had actually battled back. They were down 8-0 at one point. They were up 12-11 last time I checked.
Over Northeast in baseball? There's a strike, 1-1 the count to Stevens, who popped up to the shortstop. Moore, her first time up.
It's now 13-11 East Mississippi over Northeast.
Now the Trustmark Bank scoreboard update, and there's a strike call. 1-2 the count. With 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Lady Indians lead it 5-0. Itawamba trying to win the best of 3. Opening round series. They've been doing this best of 3 in baseball since 2009. In fact, the first year they did that, ICC went on to win the state baseball championship, but this is the first year they've done it in softball.
Yeah, and it's gotten mixed reviews from the coaches. Some like it, some don't. Some prefer to go to that 8-team double elimination tournament in that situation. Some would prefer to say, LSU units, go find another region to play in. Let's play the state and region tournament at the same time. And I think if that ever gets passed, there will be a collective party amongst all the baseball and softball coaches.
In the MACJC, no doubt about that. That pitch is high.
It's only because there's the differential in the recruiting rules is so vast.
We're not talking about the same playing field when it comes to recruiting. No restrictions for for LSU Eunice. And there's a slow roller up the middle. Moore steps on the bag, but there is no force. So the throw to first is not in time. So an infield single by Stevens.
Yeah, it would have took a great throw that time, and as you said, I think she just went through the motions of naturally stepping on the bag, trying to turn two. If she wouldn't have stepped on the bag and just made that quick throw over, the throw was high, brought Emily off the bag, but it would have had to have been a just perfect throw to get her out.
So with one out, runners at first and second, here's Lindsey Beard, the shortstop. Grounded to Kat Carver at second, her first time up. That was back in the second inning. We're in the top of the fourth. ICC leads it 5-0. Pitches outside. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, see if she couldn't get her to chase something right there. Pick a cheap strike two up.
Beard at the plate. Liner to center field, a base hit. They're going to ask the runner to score from second. The throw is cut off by Henderson.
I don't know if we wouldn't have had a close play if Henderson don't cut that off. What a shot from center by Lakin Schenkel. Yeah, that would have been close.
It would have been close. 5-1 now. East Central is on the board for the first time. Still top of the fourth, and here comes Andy Kirk. With one out here in the top of the fourth, it is 5-1 in favor of ICC, and we'll see if we've got a Predator Pest Control pitching change or if Coach Kirk is sticking with Hannah Johnson. We're back in 30 seconds here on FM 95 Sports.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
Andy Kirk is sticking with Hannah Johnson with one out here in the top of the fourth. Coach Kirk back into the ICC dugout on the first base side here at the Lady Indians softball complex here in Fulton. Fourth inning, 5-1 ICC, East Central. Putting together a nice little inning here. Leadoff single by Porter. Buckley, a ground out victim, fortunately. Stevens with a base hit. Beard with an RBI single. So first and second, one out. Here's the right-handed hitting catcher, Holzenbach. Ball one.
Yeah, low and outside that time for Holzenbach, and ICC, 5-1, but we need to go ahead and try to maybe roll two here and get out of the inning.
Yeah, I like to keep this cushion. There's a strike called. 1-1 the count to Holzenbach. She has had a terrific 3-game series here this weekend at ICC. That pitch is high. 2-1 the count. Holzenbach, pretty good hitter, but she's also among the national leaders with 9 sacrifice bunts. Nice combination to have as a catcher. There's a foul ball.
Nice pitch that time. She was looking for something on the outside of the plate after she got 2 straight pitches and came back inside and jammed her up, able to find a piece of it and foul it off.
I bet Hannah's family watching up in Branson, Missouri again today.
Well, we always know when Hannah's pitching, when their family's watching, because our viewership is up a good bit.
On LetsGoICC.com, the video streaming.
Absolutely. So, and we do appreciate them because they constantly text. They're very pro ICC, and they're hoping to get the win today because if so, they say they're coming down for the state championship or state tournament next week.
That sounds great. Another foul ball, third base side for Holzenbach. 2-2 the count with one out here in the top of the fourth. There's a ground ball in and out of the hands of Hannah Johnson, and everybody's going to be safe.
Yeah, just a tough bounce that time. Normally the ball bounces off much harder off the ground. Johnson went to make the grab with the glove, and whenever she did, the ball just didn't hop up as high as it normally does. So did the right thing, though. Didn't try to force it either to third or first on the play, and just bit that one, and going to try to work out of this right here.
Nikki Triplett is the pinch runner.
For the Warriors, Nikki Triplett.
For Holstenbach. So the bases are juiced. They're full of Lady Warriors. East Central trying to get back into this game. ICC leads game 3 of this best of 3, 5-1 here in the fourth. That pitch evidently a bit high. It went across the plate. Looked like it was just below the letters. So it's 1-0 the count to the right-handed hitting Anna Catherine Now. And that's a foul ball third base side, and the count is even at 1-1. With one out here in the top of the fourth. ICC leading 5-1. Lady Indians won game 1 last night, their 18th straight win, 4-2. There's a pop-up into short center field. Schenkel coming on, makes the catch. Her throw to the plate is a beauty. And East Central was very wise not to have Stevens try to tag up, because that would have been a double play.
Yeah, they saw the arm earlier, and they said, no, we heard rumors she's from Calhoun County. We're going to keep you at third.
You think that's what they heard?
That's what it was.
So that's a big out with the bases loaded. Now there's 2 outs, and here's McBroom, the designated player. First pitch, inside corner, strike 1. Amber McBroom was 1 for 4 this afternoon. Had a base hit, a couple ground outs, and a line out to Carver at second. Last night, McBroom was 0 for 3. There's a ground ball to short, more to second for the force, and that takes care of Northeast. Boy, a nice job of navigating out of that mess. So a fielder's choice, and that takes care of East Central here in the top of the fourth. But the Lady Warriors get a run. We go to the bottom of the fourth. ICC leads game 3 of this best of 3 by the score of 5-1.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
Bottom of the fourth we go. ICC leads East Central 5-1 in this game 3 of the best of 3 opening round series in the MACJC state playoffs. It'll be the number 9, 1 and 2 hitters, Schenkel, Moore, and Carver facing Wilson. The first pitch is a strike, 0-1 the count.
Yeah, really surprised to see Wilson back out here. Man, what a gutsy performance out of Wilson, pitching all 3 games for East Central.
And it's not like they don't have a good number 2, Kelly. There's a bouncer to the right side. Hopkins takes care of Schenkel for the first out. Kelly, the other pitcher, she's got 13 wins.
Yeah.
16 complete games. So it's not like we're talking about, I mean, I know Wilson is the ace.
Right.
But Kelly's got a 3.31 ERA compared to Wilson's 2.44. So, I mean, that's not bad.
You go with the girl that shook it to the dance, I guess.
That's exactly right. So that's why they're sticking with Wilson. And with one out, we go to the top of the order, and Haley Moore. Haley 0 for 2 in this game. Earlier this afternoon, Moore went 0 for 3 with a walk. And one for 4 last night. So she is 1 for 9 in the series. Moore started the weekend well over 400 at 413 with 4 home runs, 39 runs batted in. That triple last night for Haley, her 5th of the year. Strike called. 2-1 the count to Haley Moore with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Will the Lady Indians be able to host the 4-team double elimination state tournament next weekend? That pitch is high, 3-1 the count. Of course, we'll have all the games, all the Lady Indian games for you. And Adam is trying to work out a way where we can have the video streaming of all of the tournament action.
Got a little plan in the back of my head.
Ball 4.
Got a plan. We got a plan.
Number 21, Kat Carver.
So with 1 out, here's Kat Carver. And when you start planning and analyzing and trying to figure things out, Kohlmeyer stays out of the way.
Have you ever watched an old episode of A-Team?
An old episode. I've watched the.
That's kind of how I plot and plan. I just whatever's in the junkyard, I build a bulletproof truck out of.
Pitch is high. The stolen base attempt by Moore is successful, and Haley Moore with her first stolen base of the weekend. She just hasn't been on base to get steals, but that's now 34 thefts on the year in 35 attempts. That leads the state among the national leaders as well.
Yeah, that's what we said. You know, when we get her on base, odds are she's going to find a way to score. So, because she can score, or what would be a play that normally gets someone to third, she can score from second.
Carver at the plate. That pitch is high. Kat Carver has walked twice in this game. She went 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored earlier today. In fact, she was our Sonic star of the game, brought to you by the Sonic Drive-In here in Fulton. That pitch is inside. 2-1 the count with 1 out. Carver, the sophomore from Hernando High School. There's a strike called. 2-2 the count with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. The red and blue of Itawamba lead at 5-1. Lady Indians trying to tack on a run or two, and there's a liner down the left field line, but hooking foul into the corner. And we'll do it again at 2-2.
Yeah, apparently there's a gathering underneath the tent down there to get away from the sun, and they all took off running out from underneath the tent down there.
Yeah, it's another sun splash day here in North Mississippi, but it is warming up. Temperature in the 80s. That fastball high, a stolen base by Moore to third as Carver is a strikeout victim, brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton, but Moore steals her second base of the inning. So with 2 outs, we've got a runner at third, and here's Corey Watterson.
Base hits was what we need right here.
Well, I tell you what, Pit Stop Barbecue, they got the regular nachos, they got the dirty nachos loaded with beans and slaw, the Philly nachos, that's yours, with sour cream and jalapenos, even French fry nachos. There's a liner to left center field. That's going to score a run. And trying for 2 is Watterson. The throw is in time, and Watterson is tagged out, but Corey gets a big RBI single.
I don't know if you don't appeal that because, man, she never touched the ground with the glove. She kept the glove high.
And that's what Andy Kirk is trying to explain to the second base umpire. But the run does count. So it's 6-1 ICC. Watterson is thrown out at second. We go to the 5th inning as ICC leads East Central 6-1.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, the Baptist Student Union, Family Pharmacy of Fulton, Subway, JUCOweekly.org, and First National Bank in Pontotoc.
We go to the top of the 5th inning as ICC leads East Central 6-1, and we've got our first Predator Pest Control pitching change of Game 3 of this best-of-3 series. It was Game 2 starter Montana Hawkins back out on the circle for ICC. Hawkins did not have a decision this afternoon. Hopper took the loss in defeat. But Montana Hawkins, who threw 3 2/3 innings this afternoon, is back in for ICC with the Lady Indians leading it 6-1 as we go to the 5th inning.
Batting for the Lady Warriors, number 8, KK Hopkins.
Sorry, Will, in the process of updating Twitter.
No problem. Hawkins will face Hopkins to start the top of the 5th.
We won't count that number.
Hawkins. First pitch is high and inside. 1-0 the count to Hopkins. It'll be the number 9, 1 and 2 hitters. That's Hopkins, Turner, and Porter facing the right-hander out of Seligent, Montana Hawkins. Pitch is low. 2-0 the count.
I'll tell you, a special day for Montana. I saw her grandparents made their way out to the ball field, and they're not able to get out that often, but they came out for sophomore appreciation earlier in the year and out today for the playoffs. And one of those kind of pick-me-ups for Montana whenever she saw them walk into the ballpark today.
That's right. Montana from Seligent, Alabama, although not too far away from the ICC Fulton campus is Seligent, Alabama. There's a strike called. Montana in the top 35 in the country with her 12 wins on the year.
Down 5.
Just don't say she's from Vernon.
Never have.
Yeah. I pick on her.
Did you make that mistake?
No, I pick on her every once in a while. That'd be like saying I'm not from Pittsburgh. I'm from Brewster County City. So,
okay.
Yeah, you just don't do that.
Don't do that. You don't.
Yeah, they're very territorial out there.
And asking for time, did not get it, but she gets ball 4. So it all works out nicely for Hopkins in East Central. She had asked for time. Home plate umpire did not give it to her.
Well, that, and plus it looked like a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, and that's what Autumn Bonner now is talking to the home plate umpire. But a leadoff walk here to Hopkins, and so we go to the top of the order and have the speedy Hopkins on the base path. So this is the 3rd trip through the lineup for East Central, but this will be the first time through in this game against Hawkins. Trailing 5-1, Turner at the plate, walked her first time up, then grounded to Watterson.
That first pitch right down the middle for strike 1.
So 0-1 the count. There's evidently a ball. Boy, that thing looked like it was right at the knees.
Man, this guy right here, I mean, he's lost his zone, and it's going to about the size of a Coke can. And the softball's bigger than that.
Let's see what Hawkins can do. There's a slow roller foul. One of the ICC assistants, Kerry Simmons, picks it up, fires it back to Hawkins. 1-2 the count. We're in the top of the 5th. It is 6-1. East Central, their only run they scored was in the top of the 4th inning. As ICC scored 2 in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd, and each scored a run in the 4th. There's a liner to left, a base hit, so a nice job by the left-handed hitting Mallory Turner. Didn't try to pull that ball. Turner hits from the left side and just lines it to the left field.
Yeah, good job going with the pitch she gave, and, you know, as we said, you know, with the umpire losing the strike zone like that, you got to kind of throw meat. Mm-hmm. And that's what that was right there if you're trying to find a strike. And the batter did a good job of just poking it out there over the third baseman's head.
So here is Morgan Porter. There's a bouncer up the middle. It's going to be into center field, a base hit. They're going to try to score the runner from second, no problem. And now we got the runner pick in between second and third in a pickle. And the throw is not in time, but now they got 2 runners at...
Nobody at first to cover.
They had 2 runners at second, but we didn't have anybody at first.
Well, can you occupy the base at the same time with 2 runners?
No, that's what he should have done.
Yeah, I have to say, it just looked like one was on the, both of them were on the back at the same time. Andy's going to come out and question this, rightfully so. And I think if they appeal home, I think the home plate umpire is going to agree with them on that because the girl slide, dove, the other girl still standing on second, and took off to first.
So the leadoff walk to Hopkins, then Turner got a base hit, and now Porter with a base hit scored Hopkins from second. And with runners at first and second, let's see if we'll appeal that.
I don't like we will.
It's 6-2, East Central. Let's see if they appeal it. Hawkins has got to get on the rubber, and now nope, looks like they're. Here's Buckley at the plate, and there won't be an appeal. And here's the pitch to Buckley as a strike called. 0-1 the count. Buckley, 20 home runs, 66 runs batted in, hitting at .425 starting the weekend, a .950 slugging percentage starting the weekend as well. Pitch is low and outside. Runners at first and second. Here in the top of the fifth, still nobody out. Buckley has been on base most of the weekend. Last night went 1 for 2 with 2 walks. The pitch is low in the dirt. Then earlier today was walked her first 3 times, then had a fly out to right, and then bounced into a fielder's choice. So 1 for 4 starting this game. And in this game, a ground ball to third and a ground ball to second. And there's a smash down the third base line. Foul. So far, this ICC pitching staff has somehow been able to get Buckley to go just 1 for 6, but she does have 5 walks. 2-2 the count to Buckley with nobody out here in the top of the fifth. Hawkins delivers, popped up, right side, and it's going to drift foul. Still a little bit of a breeze blowing out to right field. On a warm Saturday afternoon, now late afternoon, here in northeast Mississippi. 6-2 ICC leads it. If we can win, we'll not only host the state tournament, but we'll be able to broadcast some more games.
Yep.
We don't want this to end our year of broadcast here on FM 95 Sports. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Ty Buckley, and listen to the fans. So Buckley, I'm telling you what, you feel like you've just climbed Mount Everest, don't you?
Absolutely, and that's the first strikeout of the day for the Lady Indians, and that was a big one.
Hawkins gets the strikeout, brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue here in Fulton. First pitch to Stevens is fouled out of play to the right.
But this is one thing we've got to do, though. We've got to regain our focus because we've been able to get her out the past few batters, but then the ones behind her have really hurt us today. So this is where we got to, tighten up a little bit and try to take care of business here and get out of this inning with no damage, or minimum damage done.
There's a strike call to Stevens, and that's exactly what happened in the first game this afternoon, game 2 of the series. We were able to get Buckley to fly out to right, and then Stevens, the lady at the plate right now, had that 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run double that proved to be the difference in the 5-3 win this afternoon in game 2 by East Central to force this game 3. Just to kind of back up your point there, Adam. Here's the 0-2, high and outside.
Yeah, see if she couldn't just get a frustrated batter to chase one out of the zone that time.
Gorgeous day to go fishing, but that time Stevens did not do any fishing on the softball field. And it's 1-2 the count. Hawkins gets the sign. Here's the 1-2. Low and outside. Count is even at 2-2 with 1 out here in the top of the fifth. 6-2 Itawamba over East Central. All of the other teams from the south have won. 2 games to none in their best of 3. So we know Jones, we know Gulf Coast, and we know Pearl River have all advanced to next week's state tournament.
So we're the only one. Last hope for the North.
Last hope from the North, and it's supposed to be the North Division champ that will host, or at least the top seeded North team remaining, and this would be the only chance. And there's a ground ball to third. Watterson steps on the bag, throws over to first to get the double play on Stevens. That double play brought to you by Pisons. Don't forget about talking about doubles. How about 2 large pizzas for under $20? That's at Pisons here in Fulton. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000. But East Central does get another run. We go to the bottom of the 5th. ICC leads game 3, 6-2.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's the winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton. We head to the bottom of the 5th, 6-2 ICC over East Central in game 3 of this best of 3.
Well, Will, I've noticed on Twitter a lot of the teams in the South right now retweeting our score updates as everybody's keeping an eye on this. I've also noticed that our viewership has nearly doubled in the past couple innings. So apparently a lot of people trying to keep an eye on this game to see how next week's going to shape up.
This pitch is fouled by Hopper. It'll be Hopper, Henderson, and Langford, the number 4, 5, and 6 hitters, facing Kendra Wilson for East Central. We're in the bottom of the 5th. It's 6-2 in favor of the red and blue of ICC. This one's fouled straight back. 1-2 the count. How about that play by Watterson to end that top of the 5th inning?
That was big. I mean, she knew her strength. Typically, if you know you don't have that strong of an arm, you want to go ahead and step on that, not try to relay it across. But that time she knew she had enough time, and she, didn't even leave a doubt on that double play.
No, that was a big double play, no doubt about that. Hopper goes down with the strikeout. Brought to you by Pit Stop Barbecue here in Fulton. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Wilson. Don't forget to call Pit Stop Barbecue here in Fulton for all your catering needs. 862-2215. Special thanks to Doug Leslie for the 2nd straight year sponsoring our ICC softball and baseball broadcasts.
And if all those fans watching in the South region, if we do end up hosting, that wouldn't be a bad place to stop off and get some food.
That's exactly right. Right across the street from our David C. Cole Student Services building. That's a foul ball down the left field line by Emily Henderson. Right now, Emily Henderson is our Sonic star of the game.
No doubt. And we'd really love for her to sort of dot the I's and cross the T's, if you will, with a monster shot right here.
She had a 2-run double in the first, then had an RBI single in that 3-run third. She's driven in half our runs.
I tell you, if she could start swinging a hot bat heading into the state tournament, we could do some serious damage.
This one's fouled straight back. It will be quite a state tournament. Hopefully ICC, we got our fingers crossed that we can hang on and host that deal. But you talk about some potent, nationally ranked softball programs heading to Fulton next week.
Absolutely. You have 2 teams that are ranked in the top 15.
Pop up left side in foul territory. Calling for it is Stevens, the third baseman. And finally, Emily Henderson is retired here in game 3 of this best of 3.
Lady Indians, number 29, Ashley Langford.
2 outs now here in the bottom of the 5th with ICC leading 6-2. And here's Ashley Langford.
She struck out but reached on a pass ball her last time up. So, Ashley, she's had a quiet, well, I'd say quiet. She did have that big home run in game 1 to kind of give us a little breathing room. So, Ashley do.
There's a liner right on cue, Ashley. And a base hit to center, and that's got to feel good for Ashley Langford. So the inning gets extended here in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs, and the Lady Indians leading 6-2.
25, Rachel Elder.
And here is the left fielder, Rachel Elder. Had a sacrifice fly her last time up, brought to you by the Baptist Student Union. Had a fly out to center her first time up. She's 0 for 1 in this game with an RBI. Pitches low, 1-0 the count to Rachel Elder.
Yeah, and that sac fly was a big one for us because, I mean, I think, you look back at it, it gave us that extra run, and you sort of just saw East Central when they took the field, kind of deflated them a little bit when they looked up at the scoreboard. So, big RBI for Rachel.
There's a foul ball. I think it would be a huge deflator as well to add to that thought if we get another run here. Just make it where a 5-run cushion. That way the bases are loaded. You still don't send the tying runner to the plate. We're in the bottom of the fifth. 2 outs. Runner at first for ICC with Elder at the plate. And a ground ball deep in the hole. The only play is to first, and sliding safely is Elder. So an infield single for Rachel Elder, and that extends the inning.
Great hustle by the sophomore. She knows she's not a Haley Moore or a Heather Diller when it comes to running, but she gave that extra effort, and man, what an extra effort it was to be able to get out there and run that one, or dive in to extend the inning.
So back-to-back singles with 2 outs, first by Langford and now Elder, and here is Henry pinch hitting for Bonner.
It looks like we're also going to have, actually they're just going to give Rachel enough time to step off the bag and sort of catch her breath, if you will, after diving in pretty hard on to extend this inning.
So pinch hitting for Bonner will be Henry, freshman out of North Pontotoc High School from Ecru.
And she's got some pop in her bat.
Yes, she does.
She's done an excellent job this season. Halfway through the season, sort of worked her way into the lineup and got some starts at first base.
4 home runs, 21 runs batted in, 306 batting average, and a .583 slugging percentage. Thanks to those 4 home runs, 6 doubles, and a triple. 1-1 the count with 2 outs. Langford is at second. Elder is at first. They've had back-to-back singles with 2 outs. That riser way too high. And it's 2-1 the count. On deck is Lakin Schenkel. Once again, Andy Kirk, third base coach, the head coach of the Lady Indians. Cammie Roberts at first base. Pitches low and inside. 3-1 the count to the right-handed hitting pinch hitter, Arian Henry.
Looks like Kara Hopper getting loose over here for the Lady Indians.
Will we see her the next inning? There's ball 4. Nice at-bat by Henry, and that loads the bases for Lakin Schenkel.
Now batting for Lady Indians, number 1.
And this might be all for Wilson. Here comes Coach Cheney out. We're in the bottom of the fifth. It is 6-2, ICC over East Central.
And if that is it for Wilson, man, even ICC fans should stand up and applaud. This young lady has just came out and just gave East Central everything possible. And you know what? That's not it. She is still going to go. Wow. Trooper right here.
Yeah, trooper and a half. Kendra Wilson, the transfer from East Mississippi Community College. And so Wilson, the sophomore from Millport, Alabama, will stay in for East Central, and the bases are loaded. They're full of Lady Indians. And here's Lakin Schenkel at the plate. She got a base hit her first time up, then grounded out to the second baseman, Hopkins. So 1 for 2 in this one. Oh, this would be huge if we could get one of these 2-out base hits out of Schenkel. Score at least a run. to increase this lead that's right now at 6-2, and that first pitch is high. 1-0 the count to Schenkel.
And I don't know if you don't take until you get two strikes called on you in the situation for Schenkel.
Schenkel, the freshman out of Bruce High School. That pitch is outside. 2-0 the count. I'll tell you what, Miss Wilson will be using a lot of ice after this weekend on that right arm of hers for East Central. Low and outside, and there's nowhere to put Schenkel. 3-0 the count. They're full. The sacks are of Lady Indians. Schenkel hits from the left side. Taking all the way. Ball 4. And that is a huge run for ICC.
Also the easiest RBI of Schenkel's career.
That's right. Schenkel will get the ribby the easy way. And that's going to be all.
Good job by Kendra Wilson and Andy Kirk meeting her across the way. ICC fans, as we said, standing up and applauding, and there is nothing whatsoever you can take away from Kendra Wilson. I believe we said 19 and 2/3 innings pitched in 2 days.
Yes, not even 24 hours. And Schenkel gets her 10th RBI of the year, the new pitcher for East Central. It is Kelly, the freshman from Nederland, Texas. We'll take a 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more at the bottom of the 5th with ICC leading 7-2.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
Number 2, Haley Moore.
Back here in Fulton, Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore, Tina Harlow spending her afternoon. Nothing like spending a gorgeous Saturday afternoon into the evening inside the studio at FM 95 Studios in Amory. But we appreciate Tina's hard work again here today as the Lady Indians have just scored a run to make it 7-2. And Kelly's first pitch to Moore.
I'm sorry she done.
Inside. I'll tell you what, I thought I was tired after this week. But Wilson, who has just thrown 19 and 2/3 innings in the last, less than 24 hours, is out finally for East Central. And the new pitcher is Kelly, who's having a pretty good year herself. 12 wins. Got a 3.31 earner on average.
And I can see why she's a pretty solid pitcher. I mean, she has an awkward throw-in style release type situation, so it's going to be tough for batters to pick up where her release point is and sort of adjust to her throwing motion.
Michaela is from the Lone Star State, from Texas. That pitch is inside to Moore. Moore walked her last time, stole second and stole third. Struck out and popped up to the shortstop, Beard, earlier in this game. 7-2, bases loaded. Make it 8-2 as a walk to Moore, and the merry-go-round continues for the red and blue of Itawamba.
Well, this is what we talked about, I guess the gamesmanship, if you will, between Coach Kirk. And we got to give Coach Kirk credit because we said he took Montana out at an awkward time. We think, she's not tired, she's not laboring, but he was planning ahead for this possibility of Game 3 coming up, and it has paid off in a big way.
You called it, too. That was one of your keys to victory, Adam. Brought to you by Pisons on our Davis Ford pregame shows. We were getting ready for this Game 3. And that's exactly what has transpired here. And now, with Kat Carver at the plate, Andy Kirk is coming down.
I was going to ask her to take those rubber bands or either the gear off. I think if you have anything on your arm, it kind of has to be lower than it is. It's actually taped on, is what it is. So
A little equipment timeout here in the bottom of the fifth. ICC leads at 8-2. Don't forget, right after this one is over, we'll have the Aiken Veterinary Services post-game report. We cannot thank Dr. Mark Aiken enough.
Absolutely. He stepped up in the clutch this year, and I've had a chance to meet him a few times throughout baseball season. A great guy, and Tucker will be back next season. He played well for us this year, throwing out of MRA and originally from Tupelo Christian. So really, really appreciative of Mr. Aiken stepping in the clutch for us.
Yeah, sponsoring all of our ICC softball and baseball postgame reports. And, of course, Dr. Mark Aiken understands the special role your horse plays in your life, and they're dedicated to becoming your partner in your horse's health care. Aiken Veterinary Services, treat your horse as we would our own. Our goal is to practice the highest quality medicine and surgery with compassion and an emphasis on client education. That's Dr. Mark Aiken and his veterinary services on Country Club Road in Tupelo. All right, we've got the equipment situation taken care of. And here's the pitch to Carver, hit to deep left field, hooking into foul territory, and making the catch is the left fielder Turner, and that takes care of the inning for ICC. But the Lady Indians score 2 more runs as we go now to the top of the sixth. ICC leads it 8-2.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties. Trustmark Bank, Larry Clark Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop, the National Guard, the Daily Journal, and Pison's Pizza.
We head to the top of the sixth. ICC leads at 8-2 in Game 3 of this best-of-3 opening round playoff series against East Central. Special shout-out to all of the East Central family that's watching either at LetsGoICC or listening to FM 95 Sports or FM95Radio.com.
They have Bubby listening in.
Bubby Johnston, the vice president, down there, one of the VPs.
Lindsey Beard.
Tell you, I hadn't got much of a chance to hang out with Bubby just because, north-south, we don't play at East Central that often. But when we had the JUCO Weekly SID meeting over the summer, I got to hang out with him a good bit. And I'll tell you, Bubby's about as good as they get.
Yeah.
So East Central's lucky to have him. And I think this might be his last year at East Central. And so, we wish the best to Bubby.
First pitch is low, ball 1. Here in the top of the sixth, it'll be Beard, Holzenbach, and now facing Montana Hawkins. How about that last inning for ICC? And it started so innocently with a strikeout to Hopper and a pop-up by Henderson, and then we got it going with 2 outs.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. That's the difference in wins and losses. You be able to get some runs with 2 outs, get 2 out hits, just find a way to scratch across some runs, and the Lady Indians did it there. And hopefully we can get in here and get a quick 3-up, 3-down inning and take care of business and start preparing for next weekend.
I like it. And that also continues, hopefully, if we hang on, we'll continue our broadcast for this 2013-2014 school year here on FM 95 Sports. This one's fouled out of play down the left field line. 8-2 ICC. East Central down to their final 6 outs. Beard is 1 for 2 with an RBI in this one. This one's popped up right over our heads here in the ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth.
Still haven't confirmed yet that we won the state championship, but judging by
I was just getting ready to ask you. The players are tweeting?
Yeah, the players are tweeting, so we're going to go ahead and say that ICC has won this year's not only MAC JC, but also the Region 23 Championship, and will advance to the national tournament in Texas sometime in May.
So that's a Trustmark Bank scoreboard update. And Beard strikes out to start the top of the 6th. That strikeout brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton.
Caroline Holzenbach.
Well, apparently that East Mississippi baseball team took game 1, and they are this year's North Division champions in baseball.
Base hit to left field with 1 out by Holzenbach. It's her second hit of the game. She's now 2 for 3. Another Trustmark Bank scoreboard update. So
Anna Catherine now.
Northeast, do they have the number 2 spot? No, it just depends on it. East Mississippi wins game 2.
Yeah, it depends on game 2 in this situation. So still a waiting game for that one.
And Northwest has to win both games against ICC.
Right.
Over in Senatobia. The Rangers, in case you're just joining us, took care of the Indians in game 1 this afternoon.
TJ Watson, 6-3 on the year with a 4.84 ERA, is pitching game 2. So that one just got started there in Senatobia.
That pitch is high. No, they called it a strike. I guess with its score 8-2, you better get up there and
swing away.
Swing away. That one is low. 1-1 the count. The runner at first is, well, the pinch runner, I guess. That must be, is that triplet?
20. Yeah, that's 20.
Pinch running for Holzenbach, who's had a terrific weekend. That changed up way high.
Yeah, didn't quite get enough release on it that time and floated on her a little bit. Good job by Bonner to pop up out of her stance, get it, and keep the runner at first.
Now at the plate, 0 for 2 in this game. There's a strike. 1-2 the count with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. ICC 5 outs away from winning this best-of-3 series and hosting next week's 4-team double elimination tournament. Pitch is high. Boy, gorgeous day, although I hear severe weather on its way tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to start moving in the area tomorrow. It's supposed to get really bad Monday, so everybody just
stay safe.
Stay safe. Weather alert.
There's a liner to left, a base hit. So runners at first and second. Back-to-back singles by Holzenbach. And now, and here's McBroom, the designated player.
Batting for the Lady Warriors, number 3, Amber McBroom.
So McBroom, 0 for 2 in this game. A couple ground outs. Hits from the right side. Runners at first and second for the Lady Warriors. And a strike called, 0-1 the count. Hawkins in, replacing Hannah Johnson. Hannah would be the pitcher of record for ICC. Pitch is high. 1-1 the count with 1 out here to McBroom here in the top of the 6th. Hopkins is on deck. McBroom, the number 8 hitter in the lineup. That one's low. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, just need to groove one right here, see if you can't find your rhythm. Once again, you see Montana stepping back. Take a little bit extra time now, trying to find her rhythm.
This pitch is low. 3-1 the count.
We just haven't had any consistency behind the plate. I mean, he loses it from 1 second to the next. He'll give you a couple that are strikes. You go to that same spot the next time and they're balls. So that makes it tough on pitchers, and that's been the case for both today.
Ground ball fouled down the third base line, and the count is full at 3-2. If you have some questions or need some more information about Itawamba Community College, of course, we got the 3 campuses in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden. You can visit our new and improved website at iccms.edu. In fact, you'll get your summer school if you're thinking about taking some classes this summer. We got 2 terms again, 1 in June, 1 in July. And there's a foul line drive down the third base line.
A nice battle at the plate right now as she's fouled off some pitches. Be a good time for Mo maybe to throw something off speed or just get something, maybe cross her up and see if you can't get this strikeout.
Yeah, you're right.
Second, or be her third, excuse me.
She has timed that one. You're right, that fastball. There's a ground ball foul again down the third base line.
I like softball coaches and baseball coaches. You see that a lot. She missed the play, did the head coach from East Central, but she went ahead. She kind of slapped her hands. You saw her go through the throwing motion. So it's always competitive, and the coaches, when they used to be former players, they still feel it.
That's right. That's Kristen Cheney, the head coach of East Central. Team that's won 33 games this year and only 15 losses. There's a soft liner in the short center field. It drops. The throw to third is in time. Now they called her safe. It looked like Watterson had her foot on the bag as the ball dropped, but the runner at second had to wait to see if it was going to drop.
Horrible. There's no way she came off the bag. Her foot was there when the dust settled. That's just horrible.
Oh, my
goodness. Horrible. Great play in center field. Great play by Corey Watterson. Horrible call by the umpire. That was right there in front of him. I mean, she didn't even come off the bag or anything.
Yeah, he was just a couple feet away from it. Here comes Andy Kirk to come out and talk to Montana Hawkins and his infield. The bases are loaded. Looks like we're going to have a Predator Pest Control pitching change. I think Andy Kirk now is going to bring in Hopper. We're in the top of the sixth. ICC leads East Central 8-2. We're back in 60 seconds here on FM 95 Sports.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
So Montana Hawkins leaves, and Kara Hopper is in for her 22nd appearance of the year. She was the Game 1 losing pitcher here this afternoon, which is Game 2 of the series, our first game of the day. That makes her 5-2. She started the day with a 1.01 earned run average. So Hopper will come in with the bases full of Lady Warriors. One out, top of the sixth. ICC leads 8-2. A changeup. Strike called. And I don't see Hopper wearing the mask. So that is a change from what happened in our first game of the day, where she wore a mask, and that the mask that she's been wearing basically the last month of the season. Here is Hopkins at the plate, with the bases loaded and one out. The number 9 hitter hits from the left side. There's a ball.
It will also, along with that pitch and change, Elder to right, Lankford to left. Heather Dillard has checked in at center field.
A couple Coca-Cola defensive.
Did it talk long enough for you to finish that cookie?
Not long. I just need a little pop-up. Watterson calling for it, makes the catch and foul territory.
Oh, her foot was off the bag. No, she picked her foot up when she tagged her. She picked her foot up when she tagged her.
But
that dude at third is, well, my mama said if you ain't got nothing nice to say about nobody, don't say nothing at all.
So a pop-up, we at least get the out. That's the second out, but I agree. What's going on with that? Evidently, he doesn't have dinner plans.
He's got sunglasses on, so taking things off.
Bases are loaded. Here in the top of the sixth, the score remains 8-2 ICC. Here's the leadoff hitter, Mallory Turner. Turner is 1 for 2 with a walk in this game. Hopper. Not a save situation. They're trying to save it for ICC. Pitch is a strike. 0-2 the count. 8-2 is the score. Bases are loaded. Top of the 6th. East Central trying to cut into this 6-run deficit. ICC scored 2 in the first, 3 in the third. East Central scored 1 in the top of the 4th. Then ICC scored 1 in the bottom of the 4th to make it 6-1. That pitch is low and outside. East Central scored 1 in the top of the 5th to make it 6-2, and then we scored 2 in the bottom of the 5th to make it 8-2, and that's the score right now. In the top of the 6th, here is the pitch, and a foul straight back by Turner, and 1-2 the count.
Oh, man, that third base umpire is stressing me out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to leave it alone. We're up 8-2. That's all that matters.
Hopper trying to close the deal here in the top of the 6th. There's a liner off the glove of Watterson. The throw to second gets away, and the air by Moore allows the runner to score from third. So a base hit by Turner scores 1 run. The ball was deflected off the diving glove of Watterson. Moore picked it up at short, and then she tosses it to try to get the runner at second.
And there would have been a play at second, and it's one of those where should have just held on to it and cut the damage to a minimum.
So an error. And now a pinch runner. So the error on Moore makes it 8-4 now. They've cut this lead in half now.
Yeah, I have to say they're scrapping. I mean, they're not going away. And I tell you, we got to get this next out because there's trouble sitting on the back on deck right now. Some of the fans giving heck to the third base umpire. I heard someone make a T-ball reference.
I heard that as well. 2 outs. Still here in the top of the 6th. We came so close to getting out of this mess.
Oh, we've been out of it twice already.
Yeah. Wind continues to blow out a bit toward right. And here is the number 2 hitter, Porter, and that one is down the right field line, and it is a fair ball. Nope, foul ball.
Not foul by much either.
No. That sun beginning to set, and I do not have my shades on, so got blinded by that sun. And I'm glad to say that
you got
it's a foul ball. Yeah. That was wrong.
Yes.
Porter at the plate. 2 for 3 in this game. There's a strike. 0-2 the count with 2 outs to Porter. Runners at first and second in an 8-4 game, and there's just getting a piece of it to stay alive. Foul straight back. 0-2 the count remains to Porter with Buckley on deck.
Yeah, good pitch that time by Hop. Brought that high heat. Just found a piece of it.
Checks her wristband. Gets the pitch, and there's a foul ball.
Came back into the fans after bouncing off the ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth. Jim Ingram, though, did not flinch as it was coming right at him. Man of Steel.
He's got his ICC shirt on. He's
focused on that the Tanglefoot
trail. Ride.
Yeah, he's focused on the ride next week.
1 week from today.
If somebody would like to know more information about that, how could they do that, Will?
They can call Jim Monday morning at 862-8047, or you can go to the ICC website, iccms.edu, get the application, or you can register online at Races Online. Fly ball center field, and making the catch is Dillard, and that takes care of East Central in the 6th. But the Lady Warriors get a couple runs, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. ICC leads East Central in Game 3 of this best of 3, 8-4.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
Starter pitch.
Here we go, bottom of the 6th. ICC leads game 3 of this best of 3, 8-4. Basically feel that we've lived here the last 24 hours, have we not?
Yeah, I'm saying
a little bit more than 24 hours now.
I left out of here about 9:15 from the press box last night, and came back in about 10:30 this morning. So, yes, I do feel like I have lived here.
8-4. Lady Indians lead it. East Central did score 2 in the top of the 6th. They've scored runs, at least 1 in the last 3 frames. We, on the other hand, have scored in 5 of the 6 innings that we've come to the plate. Why don't we make it 6 out of 7?
As long as we get 5 outs this inning like East Central got last inning.
Then it would be fair?
Then it would be fair.
Okay.
That's all we ask for is consistency.
That's right. Leading off for ICC, the top of the order. And that's Corey Watterson, the bouncer to third. The throw is high, but Buckley gets back on the bag, and that's the first out.
They
did get that one right, like Brother Chris said.
If it was the third base umpire, we would have been safe and would have been an error and a ground rule triple, and we would have scored 12 runs on that one play.
So Watterson, the first time that Corey's been retired in this game, she walked and got a base hit. In fact, 2 base hits, so she's now 2 for 3 with that walk. And here's Hopper. Pitches a strike call, 0-1 the count. Andy Kirk still talking with the third base umpire. Andy's got to be a little warm. He's got the...
Brother Chris and I were talking about that earlier.
Long pass is a grounder to short. Beard's throw is in time to get Hopper. And he's got the Under Armour blue underneath his Spread the Red ICC shirt, golf shirt, and he's got the long pants, the blue sweatpants.
Emily Henderson.
I'm burning up, and I'm wearing T-shirts and a short.
Yeah. 2 outs, nobody on, and here's one of our candidates for our Sonic Star of the game, brought to you by the Sonic Drive-In in Fulton, Emily Henderson. She has come through big time here in Game 3, especially her first 2 at-bats. Had a 2-run double in the first to put ICC up 2-0, then had an RBI single, part of that 3-run third. 8-4, Itawamba leads it. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 the count now to Henderson. Emily, out of Burnsville, went to Tishomingo County High School, a sophomore. There's a base hit to left. Emily Henderson, 3 for 4.
Good job by Emily here in this game. And we talked about we needed somebody in that bottom 5 of the lineup that we didn't get in that first game to step up. Well, Emily answered the bell.
She sure did. You talked about it. Andy Kirk talked about it. That was one of the keys, if not the biggest key, he said, in that loss earlier this afternoon in Game 2 was our inability to get any kind of production the bottom part of our order from 5 through 9. But that's been a different story here in this one this afternoon. Game 3 of this best of 3. Can't say this afternoon much longer. Late afternoon. A little past 5:30. There's a strike call.
What do you consider evening? What hour or threshold do you have to cross for it to be evening?
For me, I say after 6, but that's just me.
I'd go with that.
What about you, Brother Chris? Evening? When you start saying evening, is that about 6?
6.
Yeah. Here's the fly ball by Langford in the right field. Coming in a couple more steps is the right fielder now, and that takes care of ICC in the bottom of the 6th. 3 outs away from making the state tournament are the ICC Lady Indians, leading 8-4 as we head to the top of the 7th, and we'll have it for you coming up here on FM 95 Sports.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's a winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, Davis Ford, Coke, First American National Bank, Itawamba Community College, and Auto, Air, and Electric.
To the top of the 7th we go. ICC just 3 outs away from hosting the double elimination 4-team tournament next week, beginning on Thursday.
Well, how about this? There was an upset down south, and this is making things interesting for the top seed out of the south. Colin has upset Jones in baseball today. Don't see a final score, but I do see a bunch of congratulations to Colin for winning against JCJC.
How about that? Coach Temple and Coach Dan Reeves, one of our favorites. Dan, a super guy, assistant baseball coach at Hines, also the sports information director there. That would make things pretty interesting as Hines is right on that tail of Jones County. See who will be that number 1 seed from the south. Their best of 3 is next weekend. First pitch is low to Buckley. I like facing Ty Buckley with nobody on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we sure did not need to see her with bases loaded that last inning.
No. Here's Hopper. Check swing and back to Hopper. The throw to first in time. I mean, that thing was a jam shot.
Self-defense.
Self-defense is right,
that's
Chris.
One of those where the pitch came inside, and they're going to talk this one over.
Are they going to say she...
Oh, don't ask the guy on third base. He don't know. He's going to be sitting there. They're going to ask. They're going to ask the guy at third base. Hey, what was the call? He's going to go, oh, what? We're at a game?
Excuse me? Huh? Pardon me?
I'm sorry. I was watching the sunset. It's such a beautiful campus here at ICC.
It is. Campus climate, one of the strengths of ICC. One of the many reasons why we're considered one of the nation's top community colleges, but that's just not what Adam and I are saying. That's right. What the Aspen Institute says out of Colorado and the Washington Monthly, and they are saying she's out. We finally got a call, and I think that's the right call. It was just a jam shot. Buckley is retired.
I can imagine.
Now they're going to say a strike, so we don't get the call.
Oh, okay. My gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness.
Evidently, these umpires have nowhere to go on a Saturday night.
Getting paid by the hour, baby.
Yeah. And Buckley fly ball to deep center field, but Dillard has room and makes the catch over in left center. And the ICC faithful, a little extra sarcasm in those applause.
This is a good thing I'm not a coach, because I come out and ask the third base coach, is she out? Are you sure over there, umpires? Let's just double check. And then I would probably not be there for the first game of the state
tournament. That's right. So 1 out, Buckley. That's amazing. If we can end this event with Buckley only getting 1 hit, is something. Here's Stevens at the plate. Haley Stevens hitting .408 starting the weekend. Had that big 2-run double earlier today. That's why we're still broadcasting here. That was the difference in that 5-3 win in Game 2. High. 2-0 the count to Stevens. ICC won Game 1 last night 4-2. East Central won by 2 runs this afternoon 5-3. Here it's 8-4, top of the 7th.
I'm not sure what was just going on there. I would say the fans are getting kind of mouthing back and forth, and I think the player at the plate right now has thought that she was just hit by a pitch, and she had some words with the umpire, and the umpire had words back with her. So campus security, if you're nearby, you may want to come on down to the softball field because tempers are flaring.
Get a little tense here, a little chippy on a late Saturday afternoon, almost Saturday evening.
So that old slogan, have a Coke and a smile?
Yes.
Coca-Cola.
That's what Buddy Long says all the time. Man with the plan over at Coke in Tupelo. He's been our sponsor. We've had the Coca-Cola starting lineups for 10 years in a row here at ICC on FM 95 Sports. And there is a strike called to Beard. Lindsey Beard, the shortstop. She's 1 for 3 in this game. Stevens is your runner at first with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. East Central down to their final 2 outs. Why don't we just turn? Let's go around the horn. 5-4-3 double play, and let's get this thing out of here. Wrap it up.
I like it.
8-4. Itawamba leads East Central in Game 3 of this best of 3. There's a foul ball. 1-2 now the count to Beard. She's played very well defensively throughout the weekend at short. And has also had some big hits. 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored earlier today. 1 for 3 last night with a walk and a run scored. Change up. Foul down the third base line. And we'll do it again at 1-2 with 1 out. On deck is Holsenbach, who has 2 hits in this game. She went 2 for 3 last night with an RBI. And earlier today went 1 for 3 with a walk and a run batted in. Hopper delivers high, evens the count at 2-2 with 1 out.
Yeah, we just need to calm down, throw strikes, and rely on your defense behind you and get these next 2 outs and call it a day.
Here's the delivery. Liner to short, Moore to second for 1, and Cat will just hold it. Not a bad idea there by Cat. So the force at second. And Beard reaches on the fielder's choice, and now East Central is down to its final out.
Batting for the Lady Warriors, number 22, Caroline Holsenbach.
And Holsenbach will step into the batter's box. Just got done documenting her weekend of softball here at ICC. Played very well, has caught all 3 games for the Warriors. Yeah, as has Autumn Bonner called all 3 of ours.
I was going to say, we talked about Wilson earlier. Let's give credit to these 2 ladies, one at the plate, one behind the plate right now. They've caught 3 games, and there's been a lot of softball they've played this week.
There's a fly ball to deep left field. Back to the wall, and it's caught. And celebrate ICC. The Lady Indians will host next week's 4-team state tournament. As the Lady Indians win it 8-4 and throw another donut on that scoreboard for East Central here in the top of the 7th, brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop here in Fulton. And I'll tell you what, anything Alex Williamson has for me right now, I would accept and be very happy for it. Thank you, Alex. And Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop for sponsoring these ICC softball and baseball broadcasts this year. As we begin our Aiken Veterinary Services postgame report, ICC fans.
I'm telling you, it got chippy. I mean, the East Central fans, the ICC fans have kind of been going at each other all day, and ICC fans, they wanted to get their final punch in there. So, hey, for all of our East Central fans listening, watching, it was a great series as we anticipated, and kudos to East Central on a great season and a hard-fought series here with the Lady Indians.
Yeah, East Central ends the year at 33-16. ICC advances 37-11. I need a game summary for you, or from you, Adam. Brought to you by Weatherall Printing.
Well, we look at the difference between Game 2 and Game 3. We only have two players in the bottom 5 get on, one by a single and one by error. Then you take a look now, Emily Henderson, 3 for 4 on the day. You had Ashley Langford reach twice. She actually scored a run. And then Rachel Elders drove in a run. She reached. And then we had a walk out of Henry, an RBI walk out of Schenkel. So our bottom half of the lineup got it done here in Game 3, and that's what we said. The pitching was there. We did a great job of piecing it together between Hannah, Montana, and Kara, and then the bats just took care of the rest from there.
Nice game summary brought to you by Weatherall Printing as ICC wins the best of 3, 2-1 over East Central. We'll have more of our Aiken Veterinary Services post-game report coming up right after this 2-minute timeout.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed